What is up, everybody? Gil here from the HVAC Uncensored podcast, always starting out with all of those companies who make this show possible. First is our rock, the friends over at Yellow Jacket. Guys, Yellow Jacket has a new Super Evac Plus 2 vacuum pump. The brushless DC motor incorporated the next generation Yellow Jacket Super Evac Plus 2 vacuum pump provides key advantages over existing AC technology vacuum pumps. High torque and high efficiency define the ultimate performance in the most reliable vacuum pump. Able to function in extreme low voltage conditions and field rated to 15 microns. The Super Evac Plus 2 is always ready. The easy to carry lightweight design is available in 4, 6, 8, and 11 CFM models, over 20% lighter than most of the AC motor vacuum pumps. Guys, check this out. It comes with a shoulder strap, looks good, and this is a beast, especially for a lot of you commercial guys out there. Next is going to be a new one that we may be starting out, a partnership we're forming. If you guys have never heard of Rockform, guys, I am currently using one on my phone. I have a bunch of accessories. They have the rugged case or one called the crystal case. They have their patented design locking system where you literally put it on, you turn it, it locks on. You can, guys, we know we're out in the field and we drop our phones. We have the expensive iPhones or Samsung. We want to protect them. These things will protect your phone. Trust me. You can drop this thing off the roof and your phone is going to be fine. And then all of the different systems that go with it, they're all interlocking. You buy a new phone, all you have to do is just get a new Rockform case and then all of your accessories still go with it. So guys, go check out rockform.com, and we are working on a discount code for you guys now. All righty, on to the show.
I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands.
One nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. God bless the United States, and thank you to all of our global listeners.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go.
If you're trying to take your HVAC game to the next level, then buckle your seatbelt, crank up the volume, and try not to be offended, because you're listening to the HVAC Uncensored podcast with Gil Cavey and Kelley McKay. Now, here's Gil and Kelley.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the HVAC Uncensored podcast. I am your host, Gil Cavey Jr., sitting alongside my buddy, old pal, Mr. Kelley McKay. What is up, my man?
What's going on, man?
Same old Shiza, here to live another day.
Good. Glad to hear it.
Yeah, man. Can't complain, man. It's actually been it's supposed to be almost 80 degrees here Friday.
Nice. Yeah, it's going to be 70 degrees here, so we'll take it. And it's just nice to not have rain happening right now.
Well, that's what we had today, torrential downpour rain. Today was kind of miserable. So hopefully the next couple of days, the rain will stop and it'll just be kind of warm. But
we've had to reschedule a lot of stuff because of the rain here recently. It's just we can't go 2 days without rain. So
yeah, well, I told you I was riding with one of our technicians, doing some training with him, and we had an outdoor TXV to put in today. And I was like, yeah, that's going to get moved. I'm not doing that one. Made the old phone call to the office, and the guy, Eddie, was like, yeah, that's one of the good things about riding around with the boss.
Right.
I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that. I mean, a little bit of rain's one thing, but I mean, it was like I said, torrential downpour. I mean, you'd have been soaked to the undies, if you were trying to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. So other than that, we've been doing some voice shots, just recorded voice calls, out to our existing customer list, trying to drum up some maintenance agreement, some PMs and just get everything ready for summer. So that's going pretty good. Other than we've had to reschedule a lot of people because of unexpected rain. So
yeah, we're doing the same thing. Got a lot of them coming through, and obviously the warm weather has been, a breath of fresh air for those because it's actually warm enough to be able to test them. And, all you guys listening out there, I mean, PM season starting, that's money right there, man. Those are valuable. Make sure that you're emphasizing you do them correctly. I mean, go back and listen to the other podcasts. Me and Kelley have talked about what to do on a maintenance, all that kind of stuff. But don't just think, oh, it's another PM. I mean, those PMs are gold. So make sure that you're running those properly. If you're a business owner, you're expressing the systems to your people to do them properly because they're very, very, very important. That can really jumpstart your summer. I mean, really.
Yeah. It not only produces work, but it's just about a high level of service. We've had that conversation many times, but it truly is. It's like, my newest analogy. Let me unleash my newest analogy on the HVAC Uncensored podcast. So this really just makes it easy to understand as far as your job as a technician, service professional, expert, when it comes to what we're doing for the customer when we're doing a PM. So if you go to the doctor and you have not so good diagnosis, right? It's not so good. I mean, whatever they found, they run some blood work, they took your temperature, but they get some bad news possibly. Well, you think the doctor wants to deliver bad news?
No.
Hell no. That's like the worst part of his job, I'm sure, especially if you've got like some really bad news to deliver to somebody.
Stuff. Yeah.
I mean, but it's his job as a professional, right? It's his job as a professional to give that information. So whether he likes to do it or not, it doesn't matter. He has to do it because it's his job. And I just think that that's such a great analogy when it comes to what we do. We're diagnosing the system. Remember, it's not just a furnace. It's not just an air conditioner. It's a system. It has to all work together to produce, to be safe, to be reliable, to be efficient. And because we're looking at it as a system, chances are, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but it's like 9 out of 10 homes or squash that. It's 10 out of 10 homes. We know that every single home has indoor air quality problems for one.
Yeah.
That's a proven fact. Every single home, if tested, has indoor air quality problems. But besides for that, every job that we go to, there's something that they could use, whether it's a system enhancement, an upgrade, or it's something that will make it safer, like any type of safety switch or a drain pan treatment, surge protection, something to preserve the equipment. Regardless, every single job is what I'm getting to could use something. And it's not our job to just make that decision for the customer. We just got to offer the options because we're the professional and let them choose.
Yeah. It's not your money, guys. It's guys and gals. It's not your money. Okay. Maybe you're having some money issues and you couldn't afford to do that or whatever the case is. We all agree that those things would make a system better. Don't be ignorant and be like, oh, they don't need that. You don't know that. And any system that anything that I've ever sold accessory, I have had on my house. I have used it. If I didn't like it, then I don't offer it to anybody else. Whether it's indoor air quality products, surge protectors, not just any kind. I've used multiple brands until I found the one that I like. I thought looked the best, worked the best, all those little things. So I don't just offer the first thing off the shelf and just try to sell it to my customers. I want good products that I know they're going to benefit them. And then I learn about those products. I know what they do, how they're going to help the customer so that I can offer them and explain things to them. And if they don't want it, then hey, that's fine. I don't want them to buy anything they don't want. But it's not my job to tell them or say nothing about it. It's my job to bring it up to them. And then I'm the professional. Oh, well, how can that help me, Gil? Oh, well, that's going to do this. It's going to protect your compressor and your motors. That thing's going to take the surge over your, $2,000 compressor, and this thing's only $200 or blah, blah, blah.
one of the ways I started looking at it was, what is the cost not to do it? You know, I mean, think about if you don't put a drain line safety switch on and a drain pan treatment, if they don't have that stuff already and you don't do it, and I know you're there to do the maintenance and all, but what if something, you know, what if you forgot one time or one of your guys forgot to blow the drain line out and now it's not, you know, it's partially clogged and it's, you know, if we had a drain line safety switch, then think of how much. I always think of it like this, like just visualize filling a gallon jug and just dumping it on the floor right in front of the furnace. And now do that like 8 gallons. That is a tremendous amount of water. And that would just be an 8-hour night. Like they go to bed, it starts leaking all night long on a hot, humid, muggy night. The unit's running. You're pumping out at least a gallon per hour out of the air. And just think of the mess that the homeowner would have to deal with. So think of that future cost. Like, what's the cost not to do this? Well, you got to hire a sheetrocker. You possibly, you know, you're going to have to remove sheetrock, possibly replace some wood in one of the walls. If just one wall gets wet.
Yeah, well, I told you about what the one customer said when I was offering that. And he's like, well, that's why I have homeowners insurance. And I was like, you know what, sir, you're correct. You do have that. I said, do you want somebody to come down here and cut out the whole bottom of the floor, get it all dusty? I said, you got to take off work a couple of days. Your basement's destroyed. I'm like, do you want to do that? And he's like, well, not really. I'm like, well, we can put this switch on and you don't ever have to worry about that. You don't got to make a claim on your homeowner's insurance. It's that simple. Every system should have one. Any system we sell, we put it in. We put a drain pan under the air handler, under the furnace, whether it's in an attic, it's vertical, it's horizontal. We put it in a pan. Both of those switches go in series together. You know, so we try to do things that other guys aren't doing. And I don't want to go off too far here, but a lot of people around here are trying to add value and they're replacing the return drop, which that's fine. I'm okay with it. But every single one is 20x8. Okay, well, not every system needs a 20x8 return drop. You know, you need to size it based off of the system. And I saw one where 20x8 was not enough at all. You know, so it's just, I saw that and was just like, okay.
Yeah, they're just trying to make it look shiny, I'm guessing. Yeah.
But it's just like, okay, well, that you should have just left it alone. But yeah, you have to be. There's a lot of people out there that, guys, don't ever let ignorance stunt your growth. Okay. Don't be afraid of what you don't know. Okay. It's okay. None of us know everything, and conversations is how we learn. Educate yourself, just like you educate yourself on, you know, the new tools that are coming out, hopefully from Yellow Jacket, or the new systems coming out. It's also about new products, new ways to be able to interact with the customer, to be able to explain things to them. It's the overall experience. And I don't care if you're even doing commercial, you still have to talk to people. You have to be efficient at your job, know what you're doing. It doesn't matter what side of the industry you're in. I mean, obviously residential, we're dealing with homeowners, people who they're forking the bill. You know, they're the ones deciding whether they're going to do it or not to do it. A lot of people, they want to buy, but they don't want to be sold. If that makes sense.
No,
you know?
It makes perfect sense. Nobody wants to be sold.
Yes.
Everybody wants to buy. Honestly, it's the culture. That's what we do.
Exactly. I mean, and people think out there, I mean, when it comes to IAQ, everybody wants to breathe clean air. And no matter how you feel about UV lights and different products and stuff like that, I know some there's good and bad to them and, you know, stuff like that. But something to clean their air, whether it's a media filter. We can all agree media filters are better than 1-inch filters. That's a fact. Even if it's just adding a media filter, if there's a space to put it, you're helping that customer breathe better air. Like Kelley said, putting that easy trap or wet switch or float switch, whatever in, you're now taking a headache off of that customer's plate that they don't have to deal with. You're the professional. That's how you're helping them. You're helping them not have to deal with something. It's not, always trying to sell them something. Well, no, it's not. But in the same token, when you sell things, that's why you have a job. Okay. That's really what it boils down to. You guys are servicing things till it comes time to replace it.
But the good thing about it is what we're selling is not just widgets and gadgets that do nobody any good. Like every single accessory has a benefit.
Yeah.
Period. And some of those accessories, the peace of mind and the payback for that, or the potential loss that we can avoid because of this accessory, like how much does it cost to replace a compressor?
Yeah, someplace it's $2,000-$3,000 to replace one.
Right. So if I can put on a surge protector that if it was caused by, a surge in the electricity, if I can save that compressor, save all that money, then the cost of the surge protector is like, it's nothing. I mean, compared to that, it's nothing. So when you compare the two, it just makes sense that also, if the surge protector fails, the ones we use, I think they got a 3-year warranty, and the company will pay up to $7,500 per unit. Now, how is that a bad thing for any customer? Yeah. Like if it fails to do its job, if there's a power surge, it fails to do its job, I believe that's what they're paying. They will pay per unit $7,500 with a 3-year warranty. Like that's a benefit. It's a benefit to the customer.
Peace of mind.
It's peace of mind. It's a cheap insurance policy. It's good for the business, and it's good for the technician.
I mean, we all know how it is especially in the residential world, when it comes to heating and air conditioning. It's one of those things that the homeowner, the customer takes for granted. It just works. Up a degree, down a degree, heat, cool. It just works. They don't want to worry about it. So if we can offer products and services to help their system, let them live better, breathe cleaner air, and have fewer breakdowns, how is that a bad thing? We are helping that customer.
They say that 92% of all system failures is due to dust and dirt.
Yeah. It's little things that weren't found that turned into big things.
Well, how much does a control board cost typically to replace? Anywhere from $600 to $1,200.
Yeah. Some of these new ones are up there.
Mm-hmm. So if that's the case, I know it could be even more than that. But if that's the case, if I can keep the air clean and keep that control board clean, because it's the dust that makes them fail, it gets in between the cracks, and pretty soon the points and the contacts inside of those relays start failing or sparking. One spark, just like a contactor, one spark, one arc, and now it's marked. And then every time it just gets worse and worse till the contacts either get stuck or they don't work. So if we can keep the dust out of there, it's going to prolong the life of that equipment. It's going to make the customer breathe cleaner, fresher, healthier air. It's going to save them time in dusting, the home. So it's definitely going to save possibly some money on like allergy medication. Doctor's visits. Yeah. It's just, the benefits are endless with that. And they far outweigh because I did an exercise with everybody at work, and we put something, we put the PMAC, what we sell is the polarized media air cleaner. So what's the positives of owning this nice air filter, and what's the negatives? And let's be real here. Let's list out the negatives. So we just covered a bunch of the positives, but now the negatives are the cost. Cost could always be looked at as a negative. The time to install it. They're pretty easy to install, but there still is a negative to that. We do have to take a little bit of time to put it in, but then we've got probably a 10 minutes of maybe an uncomfortable conversation as far as, the tech stop worrying about themselves and just, you get what I'm saying? Like we worry internally. I don't mean that like worry about yourselves. I mean, like internally, we're scared to have these conversations sometimes because of our limitations around money.
Yeah, we're afraid to do our jobs, is what it comes down to.
Exactly. So if we can just, for that 10 minutes of uncomfortability, just to explain what you can do and what the benefits are, when you list all those benefits, I mean, they're so huge that they far overcome the little bit of uncomfortability just to let the customer know what you can do for them.
Yeah, that's why when I talk about knowing these products and using them yourself, you start to know the ins and outs. Like I have always believed, and I've said this story a million times. I know you've heard it a million times, Kelley. I've always believed in high efficient equipment, inverters and stuff. But when I got my inverters in my house and experienced them, it was a whole new level. It was like, holy fuck, these things are amazing. Like this is fantastic. So when I have the conversation with people, Victor said it last week, it's transferring energy. It's transferring your belief onto the customer. Now it's easy for me because I am giving my personal experiences and they can feel that when I talk to them. They know that I'm not bullshitting them. It's like showing pictures of my kids. It's like, oh, look, this one's on the right side of the house. This is Mickey. And then, you know what I mean? It's right. They feel it. They know that I'm not fucking lying to them. And it's,
hey, listen to this. What you just said right there, 100% true. They will feel you before they hear you.
Yeah.
Always. So if you go into it thinking, yeah, these people aren't going to buy nothing, I'm not even going to, I hate to even offer this, but I got to do my job, blah, blah, blah. Like if that's how you feel, like the result will show. I mean, you're not going to have a good response to your energy.
Yeah. I mean, and what it boils down to, and a lot of you out there, I get it. You harp on yourself about you want to be honest and ethical technician. And I get that. That's a good thing. It shows that you have morals about you and you should. And I want everybody who works for me, Kelley wants everybody who works for him to be honest and ethical. We can make money being honest. That's what you need to realize. Okay. What you need to do when you go in there is be thorough. Okay. Thorough on what you do. It's not get in, get out. Make sure it's the cheapest invoice. Customer's going to be happy. We're good. No. Okay. Your company has to make revenue, has to make money for you guys to drive those new vans, those nice uniforms, the paid vacations, the 401ks, etc. Okay. What you'll start to realize is you go in there, you take your time, you're thorough. You start ripping things apart, cleaning them, not just half-assing it. I mean, taking the top off of the outdoor unit, unwire it, sit it on the ground, get all the leaves out, clean the coil good, doing things like I say at the end of every fucking podcast, doing things that the next guy's not doing, things that the next guy says he's doing, but when nobody's watching, he's not doing it. You need to do those little things. When you do that and you find the things that are wrong with the system, hey man, this, and you just mention it, write it down. Like this contactor, a new one would help. It's not really bad, but it's a little pitted. It's the coil's ohming out like a little low. Maybe I should say something about this. Capacitor, it's not bad. It's a little weak. That's things that you provide to the customer. If they don't want to do it, hey, they won't do it. But if you don't say something, are you really being ethical? I mean, think about it. Are you really being ethical when you don't say anything? You're in there in 30 minutes and you're out. Customer only pays $49 for a maintenance and you leave and you say nothing about all the stuff that you looked over or saw and said nothing. That's not being ethical, guys. I mean, I'm sorry. I think some people they got it twisted. They really do. They have it twisted.
Yeah, I agree. There's not, I've given that other analogy where, if you went and purchased a car and then I went and purchased the same car, and then I find out yours has got the nice stereo and yours has the tinted windows and the sunroof and the rims. And look at mine. I got the base model. I got the base model. It's got the crap radio and no tinted windows. And yeah, I'm manually rolling up my windows and locking my doors. Well, if the salesman never let me know that these features were available, these features and benefits were available to me, I'm not going to, I'd be upset. So when you think about it that way, we're just doing our jobs when we let the customer know what we can do for them, because it's all to make the system safe, reliable, more efficient.
Yeah. Or the analogy that I would use is you go to the auto mechanic and you're there to get new brakes. While the mechanic is taking your brakes off, he sees your rotors are fucked. Man, these things are bad. But hey, you know what? Mr.
It's
McKay,
5:00. It's Friday night.
Yeah,
I'm going.
It's 5:00. I'm not trying to piss Mr. McKay off and tell him that he's got to spend more money. Let's just change the brakes. We change the brakes. Kelley takes his car back out. And he's like, man, what the fuck? These are brand new fucking brakes. Takes it back. And you're like, oh, well, you need new rotors. You're going to be like, well, dude, I was in here fucking last week. You just changed the brakes. You didn't see the fucking rotors at that time. What are you going to say? Oh, yeah, I saw them. I just didn't want to tell you because I thought you bitch about spending too much money. No, you're going to be pissed. Just like if you go out there, you just do a PM, you don't say anything about the contactor, nothing about the capacitor that's weak. 2 weeks later, capacitor goes bad. What are they going to say? They're going to call in and be like, your technician was just out here and performed a PM and now my system's not working. It happens all the time. So what the fuck did you really save? Who did you really help? No one. You pissed off the customer. So now they're happy. They have to take off work again. They're uncomfortable because their AC's not or heat's not working. You have to come back out to do the job right a second time. Your company's pissed because they look like they're in a negative light. They're mad at you because you didn't do your job right. So how ethical are you? This is what I don't get when people say that. I'm like really sit back and think of it. And there's no way to justify it. If you can listen to what we're saying and still think that that's the right way, you're a fucking moron. I hate to say it that way, but you are.
And sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes you're doing those rotors for free.
Yeah.
Just because, even though it's a different part, just because the customer's so upset because you were just here. So it's, of course we'll do that to keep a customer happy and maintain our relationship. Not all of them are going to be that adamant about it, but what would you do as a business? You want to take care of them. So it's just a lose-lose situation. Nobody wins if you don't do what the next guy's not doing. What Gil says all the time, you go that extra mile. It's all the rewards are in that last extra mile.
Yeah. And guys, I love people. I love helping people. When I first got when I came back from the commercial industrial stuff and first really got into residential full force, I love talking to new people every day. Even the ones who were mad because, I was like, I can change their mind. I'll make them happy. And that's what I used to think. I'm like, you know what? They probably don't have much money. I want to keep the cost down. And I did that for a little bit until I educated myself. I learned a better way. And I started being thorough. I started, taking my time, not worrying about what time I got off, or rushing through or sitting downstairs playing on my phone while I'm supposed to do a PM and then be like, oh, everything looks good. I was thorough and I offered everything that I saw to help this system. And sometimes you'd leave with a $2,000 ticket off of a $49 maintenance. I'd walk out the door. The customer fucking loved me for it. I mean, I'm talking giving me a $40 tip after they just spent $2,000 on what I used to think that they didn't want and we pissed if I offered. So they're happy. They gave me a tip, a review. They're happy as hell when I leave. My boss is fucking tickled pink. He's like, oh my God, way to go, Gil. And I'm making commission and extra money off of it. So you tell me, where the fuck is the problem? What is the problem with what I just said? Everybody's happy. So guys, you really need to break that limiting belief. You need to get your mind right. And the reason we're talking about this and different things is it's getting ready to be go time, man. Some of you, depending on where you live, maybe you're already having it. I mean, I don't know if March is
next month for sure. Next month for sure. There's some, like Arizona, those places, probably California, they're going to be getting in, some upper digits. I mean, start warming up for sure. Yeah. Air conditioners will probably be turned on next month.
Yeah, it's going to be go time, and summertime is the money making time for everyone in this industry. So now is the time to get your mind right, do what you got to do, and maximize what what's got to be done. And like we're saying, don't ever get twisted. We want you to be honest. We want you to be ethical, but we want you to be thorough. Offer what you need to offer to the customer to make their system the best version of that system it can be. Just like we always tell you to make yourself the best version of yourself. Make that system the best. Offer what that thing needs to be the ideal system. The customer will decide what they want and what they don't want, but be educated enough to answer their questions. Okay, because there's no reason people should not be informed buyers nowadays. It's the Google. Hey, Google, what's a humidifier? Hey, Google, what's Ecobee? That's fine. Be able to answer their questions. They will buy what they want, what they think they need. But guess what? If you don't offer something, they can't buy it.
And back
they never knew they needed it. Yeah.
No. And back to you being the best testimonial. Like once you experience it, you want your customers to experience this. You want them to have clean air. You want them to be super comfortable, like beyond comfortable. So once you experience this stuff and you're just you're a living, walking, breathing testimonial that has experienced it. That's what they'll feel, So 100%, like,
and stop thinking. Sorry, Cal. Stop thinking sales is a bad thing. Oh, that guy, he's just a fucking selling tech. For all you know, that guy is the smartest dude you'll ever know and can fucking fix anything with two hands tied behind his back. But yes, he sells things because he's thorough at his job and he knows what to offer and how to offer it. Don't have that ignorance about you guys. Don't have that ignorance about you. Please don't do that to yourselves, because you're going to get humbled at some point in your career, hopefully sooner than later. You're going to get humbled when you realize you don't have it figured out. What you're saying is wrong and it's not accurate. And if you think that way, you will be humbled. I promise you. As I'm sitting here right now, you will be humbled and realize that you're wrong.
Yeah. I mean, I'll just let that silence sit for a minute.
Yeah.
Because it is. Guys, nothing happens until something is sold, and we're all salesmen. So there's this negative thought. Like if I say salesman, what do you think of, Gil? I mean, do you think of somebody who's honest, has integrity, goes above and beyond, make sure to give the best value to the customer when I say the word salesman?
No, people think every salesman is like that 1980s used car salesman.
Right.
That's what everybody pictures when they hear the word salesman, is that guy, like fucking a Danny DeVito looking guy trying to sell them a car that's fucked up.
Right. So you have this negative stereotype that's, that you've framed around the word sales. And so we got to get rid of that if you're going to move forward ever and get past this, because it's service. Just call it service.
Yeah. Now, if somebody comes to my house to like say siding, windows, I get excited for them to come because I want to see their system. I want to see their process.
Right.
I want to see where they park when they come to my house. Do they call me before they come? Do they ask to come in the house? I want to see if they know their craft. Because sales is sales. It doesn't matter what box you're selling, what's in the box, I want to see if they know their craft and how they offer their goods and services. And for somebody that's done that for a living, if they're good at it, I can respect that. Doesn't mean I'm going to buy from them, but I can respect that they're taking pride in what they do. And they're trying to give me the most informative service they can so that I can decide where I want to spend my money.
Here's another brain buster, get your mind thinking is when I say like a respectable position, like a respectable career, a respectable position, like what do you think of? When I say respectable career, what is a respectable career? Like
most people here think of, the American dream, owning a business. So being an owner of a business.
Okay. Well, what about doctors, lawyers?
Oh yeah. Doctors.
People automatically, those people, they just because of what they wear alone gives them respect and authority. So that's what most people think to be the most respectable position, but it's sales. It's not doctor, lawyer, fireman. Those are all respectable. Don't get me wrong. Those are all super respectable and we love you guys. We couldn't function without you. So,
yeah,
but sales is actually a super respectable position. So I don't know what it is. If it's just our culture, if it's our, the movies that we grew up watching, like you said, and it probably is, but it's not reality.
No. I mean, well, that's like I'm not going to throw out names, but let's just get into this. Something we talked about off air. There was a post that I saw on Facebook today. And the guy who posted, I respect, I do. I mean, I have nothing but love for the guy. But he put something about, how to say this right. Something about, like some of the trainings that are going on where people come out to your company and they train you on how to offer options and, the systems to help your company. Am I sitting here saying that every one of the guys who goes out and does that is honest, is ethical, and, is good? No, I'm not saying that by any means, but I want to throw this in there. Okay. There are HVAC business owners all across the country that are busting their back to grow their business, to finally get money back in their pocket because they don't take paychecks. But they make sure that their technicians get paid. They keep putting all the money back into the company and they're wondering, hey, when am I finally going to be able to get my money back? I stopped being a technician because I wanted to be a rich business owner like I thought it was going to be. And they realize that's not the way it is. So they get somebody to come in and help them because they're trying to grow their business. In order to grow your business, you need to be able to scale. So if you have two guys that are great, they're the best techs in the world, but then you got 5 other ones who they can't be like those guys. You can't scale that. So then these people teach you a system, okay? A, B, C, D. You get it like the back of your head. All of your technicians learn this system. No matter what their skill set is, if they follow this system, your company is consistent. Every call you go on, the technicians doing the same things, providing the same service. That's how you scale. That's how a business can grow, how you can create revenue to be able to pay high wages, drive new trucks, all those benefits and perks. That's how business operates. If you've never been in a management position, you've never been a business owner, you don't understand how business works. I mean, truly. Not you think, like you've never actually had to make a decision that affected somebody else's life, then guys, you shouldn't speak on it because you don't know what you're talking about. You don't. When I was a technician, I used to say, man, we charge too much. Why do we charge $300 for a capacitor? Why do we charge this? And when I started getting into management and I started realizing what it costs and what you have to spend to run a company, the day-to-day expenses of what it is, I'm like, man, we don't charge enough. You really, really don't realize, guys, don't be ignorant. Don't talk out of both sides of your mouth. It makes you sound ignorant and stupid. I mean, I don't mean that in a negative way. It's the truth. You don't know what you don't know, and that's okay. We don't all know everything. There's plenty of guys out there that can fix things that I can't fix. That's okay. You know, I could probably sell things or run a business better than some of the technicians. Guess what? That's okay. You know, it's, yeah, I don't know, man. When I just see things like that, it just, you know, I don't know why.
Yeah, it's a sore spot. It is a sore spot. And I don't know. It's strictly because we all felt that way. You know, if you've never owned a business, then I would say just keep your opinion to yourself because you don't know what you're talking about.
No.
Until you've walked a mile in that and went down that path and realized just what it takes. Those first couple of years are brutal, guys. You have no idea until you just go out and do it. Some of these guys online, you know, we talked about that extensively with Victor last week. It almost makes it look easy, and it's not. It is not. Like, there's nothing easy about it.
No.
If you think like waking up in the middle of the night, shaking or crying or whatever, like this is what some of the guys experience.
Yeah. Wondering,
it's not wondering where the next paycheck's going to come from, and
it's not just your paycheck anymore now. Okay. Remember, it's not just how am I going to pay my bills? It's damn, how am I going to pay the guys? How are they going to provide for their families? You know what I mean? It's a whole different kind of stress that you don't understand unless you've been there. So that's what I mean by if you've never been in that situation, you know, you can't speak about it. You can't, you know,
and if somebody tells you no, and like right now in life, and you just give up every time somebody says no, or every time there's a challenge thrown at you, you know, what's your pattern? If you just say, okay, well, if I can't get through this way, I'm going to find another way around this or over it or under it or through it. If that's how you currently operate, then you got a chance, a fighting chance, because there's going to be so many obstacles and roadblocks and disappointments that come your way that you have to be resilient. You got to be tough. You got to be resourceful. You got to be able to pick yourself back up when you get knocked down, because you're going to get knocked down.
Yeah.
There's not a single HVAC business owner that doesn't have some sob story about the first 5, 10, 15, 20 years of their career in their businesses. That is reality.
Yeah, it definitely 100% is. And, you know, like everybody knows it. If you don't, there's a saying out there that the 97% of people who quit work for the 3% of people who didn't quit. Guys, it's opportunities. We all get opportunities. What you make of that opportunity is up to you. So even if you're a technician out there, and I'll transfer this a little bit, it's kind of what Kelley was talking about as far as, you know, business owners and what they have to go through and the struggles and et cetera. But even going into summer, guys, let's know this is a new year. It's a new opportunity for all of us. You know, who knows? Maybe this year you might get an opportunity for management, a supervisor for another company that is going to be life-changing. And getting the opportunity is one thing. What you do with the opportunity is another. Guys and gals, always be out there. Always be trying to better yourself. Never settle with, I'm okay. I've gotten far enough. I'll just ride this out. There's no such thing as standing still in life. There's no such thing of it. You're either going forward or you're falling backwards. Don't let life pass you by. Always try to better yourself. Go out and do things. Maybe it's one less game on the phone. It's one less beer you drink or something, but it's just all these people out there who make it and they're successful. They were willing to do things that other people weren't willing to do. Like people like talk about, you know, what we talked about last week with Victor, Jeff Bezos. Oh man, he's such an asshole. Doesn't have to pay taxes. He's a fucking genius. How many of you out there wish that you didn't have to pay taxes? Don't hate on him because he was smart enough to figure it out. You know, who people have the mentality thinking that those rich people should pay for the world's taxes and stuff. Well, guess what? A lot of those people are self-made millionaires. They took risk at a certain time and moment.
They also
failed.
lost a tremendous amount of money. I don't know for how many years that Amazon didn't make any money.
Exactly. And they failed more than all of us put together. They failed until guess what? They never gave up and they finally fucking succeeded. That's how that happens. Nobody succeeds on their first try and like, oh man, they're so lucky. Look at them. They're millionaires. You don't know what they went through to get to that point. So it's just, and guys, we want all of you to be successful. Whatever your definition of being successful is, whether it's making $1 million, you know, it's financial, it's your family, whatever it is, we all want that for you and want to help you get it. Me and Kelley still fight for our success every day, whether it's making more money, spending more time with my family, being able to go on more vacations, whatever it is, it's going to be a never ending battle for me. You know, I'm not okay with just doing it or just
getting by.
Yeah, just getting by.
Being mediocre, being like everybody else, you know?
Yeah, I knew when I first got into this industry, when I would interview, sitting at the guy behind the desk, and I'd just be like, you know, I want your job. Like, that's what I want to do. And I busted my ass to be that guy behind the desk. So now I'm the guy, you know, doing the interviews, deciding who comes to work for my company. Talk is cheap. You got to put the actions and stuff behind it. You know, I want all of you to be successful this summer. You know, thrive, you know, make enough money that you can invest, go on vacation, buy that car you've always wanted, get married, have that fancy wedding, buy that engagement ring, whatever it is that you want. I want you to be able to get it. But just know that nothing in this world comes easy and nothing's free. You know, just like this stimulus money. Guess what? We're paying this back for the next fucking 100 years. But yeah, nothing's free, man. Everything you got to work hard for. So don't be one of those people that, yeah, I won't go too far off on that, but just, yeah.
So there's this framework, because here's the reality, guys. Because I know some of you guys out there, you're fighting every day. Like you're doing really good work. You're doing great work, but you're not seeing or feeling like you're getting all the rewards. And I'm going to tell you why. When you have lower standards, and I'm not saying anybody who listens to us has any low standards. I'm not saying that, but there could have been a time where we did have some lower standards. And for whatever reason,
we've all banged a fat chick.
Right. But we've got, you know, when we have lower standards, what kind of rewards do we get?
Small ones.
In life, small ones, poor, right?
Yeah.
Poor rewards. So then what happens? You get sick of that, right? You get sick of it and you're like, I'm not going to put up with this shit anymore. I'm going to raise my standards. So you raise your standards and now they're good. So now, you know, you do a good job at work. You're a good husband. You're a good father. What kind of rewards do you get for being good?
Well,
it's poor.
Yeah.
I know you think you're doing good, but good gets you poor rewards, poor results. Now, if you get sick of that and you're like, all right, I'm going to take you to the next level. I'm going to actually study some shit. I'm going to learn something. I'm going to get better and I'm going to increase my knowledge and skills, which is going to increase what I'm worth to the company. And then I'm going to, you know, work out a little bit. Like you're really raising your standards. You're trying to change your life. Like I'm going to eat a little healthier. I'm going to spend more time with my kids, my wife. And now you're like, you got higher standards, right? Like you're excellent. So now you're excellent. So you're an excellent dad. You're an excellent spouse. You're excellent at your job. Now, what kind of rewards do you get?
Really good ones.
Good ones. That's right. Not excellent, just good. So then when you say, okay, I need to take my game to that very next level, and you decide I'm going to be outstanding every time, like it's not just about being outstanding for one call or two calls or a week. It's about being outstanding consistently. So when you just make that leap and you decide I'm going to be outstanding every single time, I'm going to serve my customer at the highest level. I'm going to be a team player. I'm also going to take care of things at home. I'm going to be a man. I'm going to be a woman, whatever. Then you decide to go to outstanding. Now that's where all the rewards are. So now you're actually getting excellent rewards when you're at outstanding. And some of us, we get stuck at, having high standards and just being good, or sometimes we get excellent, but we don't make the transition to move to outstanding. And that's where all the rewards are given.
Yeah.
And I think is the essence of what Gil was just on a rant about. It's like, we have to do more. Like we have to go above and beyond. It's not okay just to be like, we've talked about this before, but the customer expects all the little things that used to be extras, like the floor protectors, the nice uniforms, the nice trucks, the wrap trucks. Like this is getting more and more common every day. We've got to set ourselves apart when we, with our interactions with the customer, with the connections we make with the customer. We got to make friends with them. We got to build rapport with them. And that's going to help establish our authority and our credibility. And in order to do that, we have to have confidence. Like you can't let something else outside of work shake your confidence or your self-esteem when you step into the house and you're dealing with a customer. You gotta make sure that you combine, enough certainty with what you're doing and authority, which is, being the authority, just like we talked about at the doctor's office. That doctor is an authority. Like you're going to listen to what he has to say. Well, we are an authority because this is what we do every day. Doctors practice medicine. We practice heating and air conditioning. So you're the professional, you're the authority, and you got to own that and have the confidence and certainty when you go talk to a customer.
And think about this. We've all worked with or currently work with that guy who always does the bare minimum, but thinks he should be the highest paid tech at the company. Should he be the highest paid? He does the bare minimum, does just enough to get by till Friday. That's how he lives his life. That's all that guy's ever going to do is just get by. He's never going to excel at life. He's never going to make what he thinks he's worth because his mind and his actions are so far from each other. He's so far from reality. He's never going to get ahead. Nothing's ever going to happen. Most of you out there listening to this, I hope you're not. You live week to week on a paycheck. And that's okay. We've all been there. But guess what, guys? There's ways to not be that way. There's things that you can change. And guess what? It's probably going to suck doing it. It's going to suck cutting things out. But it gets so much worth it. It's so worth it when you do those hard things, make those tough decisions. That's how you start seeing change. Change is it's not easy. Like guys, beginning of this year, you heard the podcast. I won't go into detail. I had some of my own issues that I went through, things that I've suffered with for a long time, but I had a breakdown. And one of the contributing factors is I have been with a company for a long time and I made a switch and everything was good, but the newness, the change was scary. It was fucking scary as hell. What if this doesn't work? Man, I had a good gig at a place, been there for 12 years, man. Had a good gig. I left it to come here. Like, man, did I do the right thing? Should I just stay where I was? Oh my God, what if this doesn't work? I can't go back there, blah, blah, blah. But guess what? It's the best decision that I've ever made. Was where I am now. I love going to work every day. I love the people that I work with. So it's just...
That's a perfect example of you were just fulfilling, and we all do this. There's 6 primary human needs that we all need. And the very top one is certainty. We want to know that we've got, a place to go. We've got a steady paycheck. We've got there's just certainty with that. And anytime you shake that up, that's going to create uncertainty, which we do need some of that in our lives too. So sometimes that could have been where Gil, maybe he needed some uncertainty. So he decided to make that move. Ultimately there was an underlying factor that helped him, nudged him, that said, hey, let's go try something new. But he had to leave his little nest of certainty.
Yeah. The comfort
and
zone.
That's scary, man. That's scary. So, but if you are always certain about everything, it has its pluses. There's plenty of positive benefits to that because it does keep you safe. You can, you have a predictable pattern. You've got a certain environment that you put yourself in every day. Routines, habits, rituals that you're doing every day to have certainty. But we got to mix it up sometimes.
Well, and we also, Cal, how many times have people always made the comment, no risk, no reward, no risk, no reward. And they never, ever fucking take a risk. They never risk anything.
Yep.
Talk is cheap. They tell other people to do that, but they don't ever risk anything. Or, man, you should buy this or you should do that. But then they don't risk their own money or they don't risk their own relationships or, you know what I mean? Yeah. The whole moral of this, guys, is we want all of you to get your minds right before summertime comes, because we know it's taxing on us. You put in a lot of hours, whether you're an owner, you're in the office, you're a technician, installer. Summertime is very taxing on us physically, mentally, emotionally, all of it. Okay. We want to make sure that you guys are getting yourself prepared now. If you've been in this industry for any amount of time, you know what's coming. So you can't act like it's a surprise when it comes. Get yourself mentally right now. Start with these PMs. Get into that process of being thorough, doing what you got to do, offering what you got to offer to customers, ethically, honestly, what should be done. And take that and transfer it over into your personal life. Take some risk. All those things that you started saying, you were going to do this. Let's just go back to the beginning of the year. All of, say, the New Year's resolutions you set for yourself that you haven't fucking done any of them. Pick one of them. Fucking do it. Actually do it. Be like, you know what? I'm not going to talk about this. I'm going to fucking do it. Okay? Talk is cheap. Actually do what you got to do to get it done. I like to have our guys come in and say, what's one goal? What's one personal goal you have for yourself? What's one, work goal you have for yourself? Normally I do 3, but I'm going to use 1 for this explanation. And then when they pick those ones, their personal one, I want you to write 10 things down that you can do to help you get to that goal that you just set for yourself. And the work goal, guess what? I'm going to help you come up with 10 things for you to meet the goal you have for yourself at work. And I'm going to hold you accountable on those things you put into the paper. I don't do that to be a dick. I do that because I care about them, because I know that when I'm nagging them, hey, did you do this? Hey, man, did you pay off that bill you were talking about? Did you put that money away like you said you were going to? It's going to be a pain in the ass. But guess what? When it's done, and they're like, hey, Gil, man, I just put that deposit down on a new house, man. I'm so fucking pumped. I can celebrate that win with them. And that's going to mean more than all those times of me being a pain in the ass, holding them to, what they set for themselves. All right. All right. Catch my breath.
And make sure to share what you want. What are your goals? So they can help you fight for your goals too. This is a partnership. This is a brotherhood, this is brother and sisterhood. We're on the same team. So if we're on the same team and we're fighting for the same things, we all have things we want in life. I'm going to fight a lot harder if I know what Gil wants.
Yeah. And I can't tell you how many times I've said I was going to do something and Kelley's called me and be like, hey, man, did you do that? No, I haven't. Well, why the fuck? What are you doing, Gil? Why haven't you done it? And vice versa. I mean, guys, always surround yourself. And I guess this is, you can't really control at work, but in your personal life, always surround yourself with people that are better than you, that are going to make you a better person. Okay. That's how you're going to thrive in life. We all got that one friend that, your wife gets pissed, or your husband gets pissed when you go hang out with them because now you're probably going to get arrested or do something stupid. But the moral of the thing is you want to surround yourself with people who have your back, that'll be that person to hold you accountable. You guys know what I mean. I'm not telling you how to pick and choose your friends. I'm just saying. But
pick and choose them wise.
Yes.
Wisely.
But hell, man, let's start closing this thing out, bud.
Guys, I hope you got some value out of this episode. Just remember that this is really what we're up against, guys. Like, there's just certain things that customers do expect nowadays, and we got to set ourselves apart. Like Gil's always saying, otherwise we wind up getting, at the best, good rewards, and good rewards is not going to be a super fulfilling. It can be a fulfilling life. I'm not going to say that it's not, but it depends on what you want. If you're one of those guys out there that wants more, and like you just have this burning desire to go get some more. Well, just know that, don't give up if you're just to the point where you're doing excellent work, but you're only getting good rewards. Like, just keep going. Don't stop. Out of the 97%, I think, when it comes to just businesses in general, I mean, it is those top 4% or whatever that are doing the $100 million, $100 million in revenue a year. Like, they've been able to set themselves apart, and they've had a marketing message that talks to their perfect customers. And that all took years and years and a lot of time and effort and blood, sweat, and tears. And so the American dream is still alive. Like, you can go get that if that's something you want someday, or if it's just you want a management position, or maybe you want to own part of the company that you work for, or you want to start your own company, whatever it is, like, you can get it. And the common factor for all the people who do make it, if whatever making it is to you, because when it comes to that, 2 + 2 does not equal 4. Like, making it to me is different than making it what Gil considers making it. We all have different goals in life. So one's not better than the other. And so I definitely don't want to feel like we beat you up on this episode and like you're just not even going to try. Not complete the opposite. We want you to, like, if you are a go-getter and you want a little bit more, well, then figure out how to be outstanding so you can start getting those excellent rewards in your life, in all aspects of your life. And we don't know what the answer is to that all the time, but you got to be looking for it, because sooner or later that opportunity is going to show up, and you got to make sure you jump on it when it does show up.
Yeah. We're just trying to help create that hunger.
Yes.
If you had it, maybe bring it back, and I'm say this real fast, because, I forget. When people nowadays, they say, oh, the American dream has died. No, it hasn't. The desire has died. When people came over here years ago, they came over from horrible situations in the country that they came from, and they came over here. They were determined. They had the desire to succeed in this country.
And they didn't quit.
Exactly. Now, everybody wants something for free. They think it's going to be easy. Success is not easy. It's not. Okay. You can still have the American dream. You can still be successful. I mean, we have people on YouTube to this day, millionaires for making YouTube videos. And guess what? They say that you can still start YouTube today and still become a millionaire. It hasn't run its course, and it probably won't for a very long time. So there's plenty of things that you could do. You just have to do it. It's that simple. Yeah, it's.
And there's an old saying, if I can get this right, it's been a while since it's rolled off of my lips, but I think it's, I would rather start small and sucky I would rather start small and sucky than stay stucky, which is retarded. I know, but
it's funny though.
It's still true, so the reason that you wouldn't possibly want to start a YouTube channel could be that, oh, well, there's so many people already doing it. Who cares? Like, just do it anyways. And who cares if yours isn't like as good as the other people? It doesn't matter. You'll still have an audience for you. Trust me. So anyhow, we're rambling now, but we love you guys. Thank you so much for listening. It's good to have an episode with just me and Gil. I enjoyed it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it too. Thank you. We love you. We appreciate all your support, and go make money.
Yeah, guys. Amazing doing this with just Kelley. Glad to be back. We're on our regularly scheduled program, regularly scheduled time from now on. If you haven't checked out last week's Dropping Bombs with Victor Rancourt, definitely do that. Amazing podcast. We love having Victor. He's always dropping gold nuggets. Very successful dude who's bust his ass to get everything he has. And definitely check that out. As always, we thank you guys for our support, man. We really, really do appreciate you guys. That's why we always want to try to give back. We want you guys to, be successful in your lives, be happy in your lives. And we know it's different for everybody, but however you have to get it, do what you got to do, man. Okay. If we can help, then ask, we'll help. Not saying we can, but if we can help you, we will. Answer a question, help motivate you. Whatever it may be. We want all of you to do well in your lives and be happy. All of our brothers and sisters in this HVAC industry, we want to thrive and, be happy. But yeah, I think that's about it. That's all I had to cover. Yeah, guys, remember, be safe out there. Always make it home the same way you left. We all got somebody to make it home to. Always remember to keep your mind right. Okay. Clear your mind. You got to talk to somebody. Mental health is very important. Always get the help that you need. Okay. And remember, always set yourself apart. Always do the little things the next guy's not doing. If you can't think of that, go back and listen to the 100 some odd podcasts that we have out, because we talk about setting yourself apart on every fucking episode. All right. But until next week, we love you, motherfuckers. We appreciate you. We'll talk at you next week. Peace.
Thanks for listening to the HVAC Uncensored podcast. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Instagram, or email us anytime at hvacuncensored@gmail.com. Now, get back to work. Shut this down. The views and opinions shared on the HVAC Uncensored podcast may not necessarily be the views and opinions of our sponsors or guests.